Hey, sixth graders, this is your lesson video for 7.2.4. Fraction division is ratios. Just as a reminder, a ratio is comparing two or more quantities to each other. What we're going to be doing today is looking at word problems, and we're going to turn them into fraction division problems. This is something that you're going to need to use on your homework today. So first, we're going to take a look at problem 7-69A. And the most important thing or tip that I can give you for these types of problems is make sure that you use the same units in the same order. So if you look in the example, they have gallons to amount of the fencing, gallons to the amount of fencing. So whatever order you decide to place them in, just make sure that that order stays the same. So in this problem, it says 1 serving of rice is 3/4 cups. How many servings are there in 12 cups of rice? So the things that we're comparing here are cups to servings, and then cups to servings. So here we have 3/4 cups is 1 serving. So they want to know how many servings are in with or can be made with 12 cups of rice. So keeping that order the same, 3/4 cups is 1 serving, 12 cups is how many servings. And again, we're just setting these up. We're not solving anything just yet, but it's important for you to know how to set it up. Taking a look at part C. Part C says Danica is baking a cake. She only has 3/4 cups of sugar and knows that this is only enough for 2/3 of the recipe. So again, we have cups and then recipe compared to cups and the recipe. So she has 3/4 cups, and this is only 2/3 of the recipe. And you can't even see this. Okay, so here's where we're getting into our dividing fractions by fractions, like we talked about in our last lesson. And then the question says, how much sugar does the recipe call for? So how many cups are in one whole recipe? Okay, so again, just setting it up, not doing any math yet. However, we're going to move on to 7-70, where we're actually going to solve part C. And the way that they want you to try solving it for part C is with the supergiant 1. So again, this is one of the methods that you can use to do fraction division. You don't have to do it this way. But basically what we're doing here is we're saying 3/4 cups is 2/3 of the recipe times our supergiant 1 equals some amount of cups for a whole recipe. So here, if you remember from our last lesson video, we take the reciprocal of the denominator. So that would be 3/2, because 2/3 times 3/2 gives us 1. And then we're going to multiply 3/4 by 3/2 as well. So 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 2 is 8. So 9/8 cups, or 1 1/8 is our answer. Okay, just taking another look at 7-72 to go over the couple methods that I mentioned last time. Let me erase this. 7-72. If we take a look at, I believe this is part A, 4/5 divided by 5/6, we can't use the common denominator method because we can create common denominators, but it's just going to take a lot more work. So for this one, I would either say use the supergiant 1 or do the invert and multiply. So again, invert and multiply is my favorite method. So that's where you multiply by the reciprocal, which would be 6/5. So this is 24/30. Nope, it's not 24/25. And that would be our answer. If you want to see it with the supergiant 1, that would look like 4/5 times our supergiant 1, which would be 6/5, 6/5, and this is 4/5 over 5/6. Oh, let me start that over. Hold on. Okay, so remember supergiant 1, you write out your two fractions in a giant division problem. That's what I forgot to do. And then you multiply by your supergiant 1 with the reciprocal of the denominator. So these cancel out. 4 times 6 is 24. 5 times 5 is 25, which is why I like just doing invert and multiply, because otherwise I make mistakes. Okay, so for your homework, you're going to look at R11 in 6th grade. And this one is lots of word problems. So again, it's using what I told you about interpreting how to set it up. So let's take a look at a couple of these together. So the trainers at Atlantis Aquarium perform shows about sea life. Yesterday, they performed 4 shows in 2 hours. Today, they will perform 6 shows. If they perform shows at the same rate, how many hours will the trainer spend performing shows today? So we're comparing shows to hours and shows to hours. So they performed 4 shows in 2 hours. And today they're going to perform 6 shows. So how many hours is that going to take? So in this case, we can just figure out the unit rate first. So if 4 shows is in 2 hours, we can say how many shows are in 1 hour. So 2 divided by 2 would give me 1. 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. So that means they can do 2 shows in an hour. So if they can do 2 shows in an hour, 2 times 3 would give me 6. So that means this would be in 3 hours. So this kind of goes along with the lesson because you're interpreting the word problem in order to set up your work. But it also goes back to our work with unit rate, where it helps if you find how many for one thing. Okay, so let's type in our answer. So it would be 3 hours. Hooray. Okay, and then we're gonna set up this next one. I'll do one more example with you. Okay, so last summer the Abrams family had a 30-gallon baby pool that they could fill in just 2 minutes. Okay, so this summer they purchased a larger kiddie pool that holds 150 gallons of water. If the Abrams fill the larger pool at the same rate, how long will it take them to fill it? So I'm going to write how I think I should set it up, and maybe you guys can try as well. So 30 gallons, 2 minutes, and 150 gallons. How many minutes? Okay, so this is what I set up, and let's see if you got the same. So I set it up as they had 30 gallons in 2 minutes. So how many minutes to fill 150 gallons? So first let's find the unit rate. So to do that, we would divide by 2. So 30 divided by 2 is 15. So that means they can fill 15 gallons in 1 minute. And 15 times 10 gives me the 150 gallons. So that means that it would take them 10 minutes to fill the 150 gallons. So let's try submitting that. Okay, so that's basically what you're doing for these IXLs. Again, if you have any questions, email me, set up a Calendly, and I will see you guys later. Bye.